Alright, let's edit this camera. Alright, something usually like that. So I'm gonna leave the heavy lifter guy alone for today and just work on this guy a little bit, especially the shoes. We'll redo the boots a little bit, and we'll just put the AC on. I don't need my calorie count on the whiteboard anymore. Alright, so Monday again. Water dangerously close to spilling off there, so let's make sure that doesn't happen. Put some music on. Okay, that's good. I was worried. Might actually help if I turn my headphones on. I was worried that the Discord link didn't work, but I think it's going fine. Okay, well let's start with these boots. So let's delete this one. And let's get some reference quickly. That's probably good. Alright, so yeah, that should be good. So I did a few streams since the last actual production one. I did a long birthday stream, or birthday eve stream. which was good. Built some terrain for Necromunda and a few other things, which is fun. And then we had someone join the Discord on, must have been Sunday, when I was painting the rats, which are here. So they're turning out pretty well, or, getting there. Getting there. Sorry, trying to type on my phone. One-handed, it's not working very well. Yeah, alright. So we'll redo this boot, I think. We'll make it into a few sub pieces and then go from there. So we'll move this current one to the bottom. And then from there we'll go cylinder. And we'll grab that cylinder. And we're just gonna pop that there. Kind of line that up with the leg. It's probably going to be very short. And then we'll just shape it to the calf there. We're going to get rid of. Wish I could turn these. There probably is a way, but turn the ghosting on just with this part. That's fine. And we'll leave that like that. And we'll append a sphere. And we'll move that to where the toe is. And then we're just going to move this down a bit. And then trim. And then don't worry too much because we'll trim that. and then we'll join these two bits together. We'll duplicate that, give that the old 180, squish that up, and that'll be our heel as well. Pop that out a little bit. We'll reshape it once we get rid of this foot bit, and then we need a tread, but we'll do that maybe once it's all combined. I think that's it, so we can get rid of this. And then this part, basically, we'll move it down. And we'll select about half of it, and we'll just drag that out to make the rest of the boot. Which means this can go a bit this way, down. So it's not quite even here, but that's all right. And then we'll just try and shape this the best we can. This foot's quite long, but I think they would have long toes and, you know, claws and everything like that. That's not what we want. We might just bring this back a little bit. It still feels too long. Move that. That's probably better. That should be fine. So we take this and then we'll go merge down, okay, merge down, okay, and then whoop. It'll give us something to model to. Probably too much geometry there. That's better. smooth this all out as well, and then we'll actually get the top of the boot in there as well. Alrighty. And to finish off, we'll add some tread as well. So if we go append. So actually what I might do is do this. And then we'll extract that. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. And we'll just move that there so I can see what I'm actually doing. There you go. That's a lot better than what we used to have. Still not, probably not great, and we might change it, the shape a little bit, but I think that'll be better. So let's just Relatively busy day today, but Mondays always usually are. Unread message. Oh, it's just my Twitch. Yeah, so busy-ish day today. But that's all right for a Monday, not too bad. So now that I know how, oh well, we'll just. Alright, so let's have a look at the proportions, just make sure that we're still okay there too. So the hands would swing down and be quite low. I've put the belt quite high, so I think so. All that. Okay. I don't know what these do. Just wondering if any of these help you move subtools. Guessing not. No, you probably have to turn everything off and move it down. Or I think you can this way. Probably that's better. So we also want a big belt buckle for him. And this will be fur. I was just marking out where it would sort of look like out of the shirt and everything like that. So we'll try and make that a little more fur-like. Switch this. So, what do I want the belt to be? I feel like something like a little pickaxe would be too on the nose. Just wondering if we did something like... What if we did it like the head of the worm? So like... Just hear me out with this one. And then let's just go... We'll just do it this way. And then we'll just sculpt in some of the details as well. And then like as if it was made out of metal. So then actually the belt will go through that. So let's pop that like there. Something like that to hold the belt together. So now I've made a bell for him to hold with his tail. Because he'll be the bell ringer kind of person. So the tail will hold the bell. Got the hands. He's built. Let's do something with these shorts then. Let's add a little pocket or something like that. Wondering if he should wear something around his neck as well. And then what weapon he'll have. Because he could have like a big pickaxe. Alright, so I had the pose for him. Actually, I think it's in these notes here. So it's kind of like one leg up on a rock and then one leg down. Do I pose him then and then start doing some details? So let's duplicate that. What am I looking for? So I've had such problems with posing though. I'm feeling like these feet are very long. It's just... That should be fine. we can remake that, but I think that's better size. So let's duplicate that. Let's just save. Try to make less save iterations. Music. There you go. Just rearranging my yeah. All right. So let's check and make sure that all the geometry can be. Well, we don't need this. Or the tail. Okay. So can we merge all of this? Okay, so that bit we can't. So we'll append a sphere. Okay. Merge. Okay, so the arms, no. So stupid that you have to do this. Find the arm. I think that's this one. Cool. So if we delete this one, the hands we can merge, that we can merge. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. hands are fine, that's the bell. I'm guessing that's the legs. No. Oh, the teeth. Ears, boots. Okay, that should be everything. Let's save again. So we alright, let's just rig it up first. Okay, why is one leg? So hold on, why is that leg? Ooh, okay. That should be everything now. Okay, cool. Okay. So I had a lot of trouble with this not working with another character, so we'll see how well this works. What are we doing? Starting off with this, where it doesn't actually this is gonna be a long pose time. think we'll pose fingers after. Make the foot quite big, and we really just want probably just one bend here. Let's see how this goes. Back leg. Oh wait, we don't want this symmetry now. So the back leg this leg we want to go up. We want quite a large lean up, I think. Almost as if he's kind of struggling. I think this is... We want quite a bit of a toe bend there. And then the other leg. Daka Flacka Flame, thank you for the raid of 2. Really appreciate it. Trying my best to pose a miniature before we get into too much detail. One of many at the moment. How's things, Dakar? What's been going on? So at the moment they'll be one-offs, but the larger project will be, hopefully, fingers crossed, with a few months or years worth of dedication, creating a board game of my own with some miniatures. So he'll be one of sort of like a enemy unit, and this is one of the other enemy units that I've actually finished and printed and will paint eventually as well. Can't really see if it's going to focus in there or not. And then that Keystone Guardian is another one as well. Yeah, it's going to be a slow progress, but I thought, why not stream it, or stream at least a lot of it, and yeah, here we are. Thank you for the follow, really appreciate it. And hopefully the link still works, but if you go into the about section and you felt like you wanted to join the Discord as well, just started putting that together as well, so people can show off what they're working on too, whether it's painting or models or drawing. But trying to work off my very quick sketch here for the pose, which is, I think, this arm pointing and then the other arm sort of down by the side, and we'll have the weapon in that arm once I build that too. So we probably want this to rotate. But yeah, I mean, we've made one miniature. I say miniature. The worm is actually really big. We've got one miniature actually done, and then this guy was sort of like a bit of a prototype. And then I still do want to make some stuff for D&D as well. Yeah, no, that's all good. But it's one of the D&D miniatures that I've been working on, which is a fan favorite, or at least my favorite, which is a mimic. If it'll focus, it focused for a second there. Come on, there you go. Yeah, mimics are fun, and I'm actually hoping to do a few series of unexpected mimics, hopefully, so that there's put my own sort of twist on that as well. So that needs to come down. And then his hand will be in a pointing position, but I've not rigged it to do the fingers because I had such a big problem with another model that I was posing that I'll just do those manually, so that'll be fine. I almost want this to be higher. No, not scale, rotate, thank you. you play with the name Dakar. I'm assuming, or can make the assumption, of orcs for 40k. Are you a 40k player, or is it just a cool name? Space orcs, hell yeah. Yeah, orcs were one of the first 40k armies I really got into in a big way. I haven't played 10th though. Yeah, I mean, I'm still getting my head around it. I took a big break from all sort of tabletop games for a while. But when I was playing, I think that was back in like 6th edition, 5th or 6th with orcs. That was fun. Just a lot of shooting and a lot of chopping. Just gonna use my mouse. Okay, so this needs to... This arm will just come down to the side, and then we'll pose the fingers around the weapon. Bring his hand. So it kind of looks a little weird at the moment, but we still got the fingers to move around, and I think that'll give us something to play with. And then we can also manually move things into position as well, because I mean this is going to absolutely destroy. Alright, I'm going to go switch computers. Nah, all good. Catch you in a bit. This way, please. Okay, come on. I think I want his... I don't know if it'll... Will this move the whole model though? If I rotate this? Yeah, okay. It might be okay. Stretch his hand out a little bit further so that when he is pointing, he'll also have a tail. which we can use for counterbalancing a little bit with the pose. Let's go. Save as Foreman 2 pose 301. And then how do I do this again? That was quick. Welcome back. What are you thinking for dinner? Any plans, or are you just gonna order something? So this one? Yeah. So you can kind of see it like completely destroys the geometry of the model. So we're gonna have to do a bit of cleanup, but that's why I don't make any real details, because otherwise it's even worse. I've got some left out of the buffalo sauce frog legs. Yeah, nah, fair enough. Don't have anything too spicy before bed. Where okay, so if I was gonna take those two suggestions and geo-guess where you were from, one choice with frog legs, which is French, and moose, which is Canadian, that would be Quebec, but I could be way off with that. Okay, I wasn't too far off. Yeah, wow, Alaska. I've never been. I've heard it's really beautiful. I guess the closest I've probably been would be Vancouver, but obviously wrong country. But geographically, I think that's probably the closest I've ever been. But you said it's a night there. Oh no, it's early morning. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I could imagine it being pretty similar. I mean, it's, again, like, geographically, they're not that far from one another. What is that? So as you can see, like after posing, it just like completely destroys the model because you're moving it and stretching it. So there's a lot of things to fix. But that's okay. Oops. And that's probably because I'm using an older version, because a different company bought this program ZBrush, and they decided not to keep the perpetual license going, so I'm kind of stuck with what I've got now without buying into their product, which is probably better, has some better features now, but I ain't paying for it. Okay, so we're gonna have to go in and okay. 2,000 kilometers. Feels like it's closer, but I guess that's probably about right. Let's okay, that's quite a lot further than I thought it was. Because from where I am to Sydney, that's 1,000 k's. So what about to Melbourne? Yeah, Melbourne's okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy distance when you think about it. But as I said, I've heard good things about Alaska, and know some people that have been. So hopefully one day save up a bit of money and have a trip out there. So if you're not playing 10th edition now, are you playing any other tabletop games or TTRPGs or anything like that? Australian tourists come to our farm. They always mess on. Yeah, Australian tourists are lovely people. Australians in Australia can be a very mixed bag. But we do alright. Before we came, just moved to another city. Oh, that's a shame. mean, it's not the same, but I think things like Tabletop Simulator allow you to play a pretty decent game of 40k. I don't know what the costs involved in that are, but I mean, the miniatures and all that should be free, seeing as Games Workshop doesn't offer that service, I believe. It'll be print and play, yes. So, I mean, it's literally in early stages. I mean, the idea has been floating around for a while, but I literally started January 1. So, it's only been, designed and things like that. For 47 days. So it's a lot of scribbled notes on pieces of paper like this, and other notepads, and a little Word document at the moment with a few ideas, but the main core concept will be taking the combat element from D&D and mixing that with a dungeon like an MMO, with loot for your characters, 3 characters versus a dungeon master, in a series of at least 3 sort of scenarios to the end boss, which for the Moleman is this guy. So, designing the end boss first and working my way backwards, kind of. But printing and having people download the models to start with, and I mean, at the moment, the worm, its base, and there's a tail and a base. Printing that on the machine that I have, which is very small, so it's 3 separate prints. It's like, what was it? 5, 9, say 15 hours to print. And then cleaning and everything like that, you're probably looking at 20 hours, so a day, or 2 and a bit working days if you did 8-hour working days to print 1 model. I'm just not sure how feasible it'll be to make and ship unless I can upscale that process. But I mean, we're talking about decisions that need to be made in the coming years rather than the coming days. So I'll get to that when I get to that. But for now, the idea will be print and play yourselves. And I did think about Kickstarter, but I don't think I would handle the failure and then the refund process very well. And I would rather just put the project out there and do it that way. And then if we start getting big traction, think about other revenue streams or think about other production methods, including Kickstarter, which I think is better, because I've heard horror stories of companies that start something and never finish it, and I don't want to be one of those. Let's fix up this hand. hand so that it's not all droopy. Yeah, I mean, you would just have to be constantly updating people, making sure that people are happy with what's being produced, not going back on promises. I've only backed a couple of things. One was just like a friend's project, so you know, at the end of the day, I think they had everything sorted out and was just sourcing the funds, which I think is fine. If you don't get the funds, then the little toy that he made didn't get made, and then you just hit refund, and as long as you don't spend the money, that was a safe one. And then the other was a D&D set, which was a little more risky, but there were known people in the industry making it, one of them being Chris Metzen from Blizzard, which is a questionable company at the moment, but I felt safe funding that, and I have the books and I have the extras and everything, so that one came through as well. See if we can get a pointer finger. So that would be this one. Yeah, plenty of other examples of Kickstarters that didn't make it, or ones like was it Star Citizen that just like perpetually are always in Kickstarter mode. I think that's poor as well. I don't know, that's just me though. Yeah, I'm glad that you've had good experiences with Kickstarter, and I think for the most part, again, and other people that have used it quite a bit, have gotten what they want, and again, time frames change. Like for instance, I'm pretty sure the printing press for the books that I bought through the what was it called? I think it's called a Borealis, something like that. Like their whole printing press flooded in New York, and they were just like, hey, what do we, like, there's going to be a delay. Nothing you couldn't predict that, provided photos and everything like that. So yeah, it happens. I'm currently waiting on some new stuff. Neon Lords of the Toxic Wastelands. Ooh. Is that miniatures or is that like D&D stuff? Sounds like an adventure guide. He's got very stubby fingers. Now he's pointing the wrong way as well. Hold on. It's a TTRPG, but they also just released a miniatures skirmish game in the same universe called Violence Action Cash Prizes. Let's have a look. Actually, I'll do it on here. So, sorry, just looking up your Kickstarter here. Neon. Okay. This looks very cool. It's very arcade. Looks very arcadey. Sort of retro, what, 80s? Hopefully I'm looking at the right one. TTRPG. Yeah, it looks yeah, it's post-apocalyptic 80s, 90s. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds really good. Oh, I'd be excited to hear more about that. I'll have, after I've finished streaming, I'll have a better look. But from the pictures, it looks really cool. I could see that being something a little different than sort of knights and wizards, but still within that like TTRPG. Sorry, it probably still could be knights and wizards, but what I mean is like a medieval setting and more of like a cartoon, not cartoony, but I hope you know what I'm trying to get at. Something different, and I think that's always fun. There's a game system I've always wanted to play, and it's called Tales from the Loop. And I think they've just done another subsection called Cyber City, and it's also sort of like 80s, but I think you play as kids or teens. And I think it's based off D6 instead of D20s. I've got the book, I just need people on time and not work, organize things around work. It's difficult difficult to get all three: time, people, location. It's always difficult to get that. I don't know if it has a loop, but the art looks really cool. Yeah, so the artist, and I should know his name, but I'm sure if you search it, he's done a heap of different art books that are kind of post-apocalyptic, but also like future farmland and future living situations, and they're just a collection of pictures. That's where the original sort of concept came from. I've actually got the art books in my bookshelf, but it got turned into a TTRPG. They used those images to turn it into that, and then I think there's an Amazon show for Tales of the Loop. I know there is. I just can't remember if it was Amazon or if it's HBO, but I think it's Amazon. And that was really good. I quite enjoyed that. It's a series of stories that are loosely connected to one another and have sort of time elements and learning from consequences, that kind of thing, but consequences that you don't see in your present but see in your future. And an electric state and an electric city, I think, are the others. And I think Electric City was turned into a movie with Chris Pratt and the Stranger Things girl. I don't think it did very well. So if you've ever heard of that movie, that's where those come from. I'm just gonna undo any of the changes that have been made to things that I don't want changes to be made to. The ears are fine. Let's undo that. No, because I don't think it did very well. Let me just see what it was called. Yeah, it's called Electric State. It came out last year, I think. Yeah, it came out last year with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 14%. So I'm fading fast. Could have a grab snack and then go to bed. It was nice chatting with you. Yeah, nice to chat with you too, Dakar. Have a good rest. I think it was 2 a.m. or something like that. And all the updates and announcements will be on the Discord channel. But yeah, have a nice sleep and thanks for chatting. slowly getting people interested, which is good. I mean, as I said, like just been starting out. Yeah, what, a month and a half. Just got to keep the momentum up. That's the only thing. We'll probably go till 10, which for me would be in the next sort of like 40 minutes, something like that. And then I can, what's the word? Publish the video and then put it on YouTube and give me some time to finish what I need to do for the night as well. That's probably fine. I want the belt to come back through as well. Okay, at least that belt's not like breaking in on itself now. We can move it around a little bit. We'll need to give him his axe, obviously, but we'll need to make a rock pile or something, and I think I'll use the crystals that I made a few days ago for that. So we'll do that. I'm just gonna take a short break. Just give me a second. Where's my BRB? Except not much. Alright, I'm back. Oh, man, tired. Okay. Let's just like drop this geometry down a bit. So I can actually move things around. Skins. We almost just want to hide some of this as well. seems to make it easier just to have one of these elements showing up. And I'm pretty proud of getting, well, I know Quebec and Alaska are not really that close to one another, but within the same continent is pretty good with that guess there. Just setting up for tomorrow. Tomorrow is it's a bit of a weird setup, but tomorrow stream on Monday, and then tomorrow Tuesday is my games day. But that's just how that works, and it's good to have at least, you know, one day to yourself. So Tuesday is my game day, back to streaming Wednesday. Thursday, although I haven't done it recently, and I need to, is writing. And then Friday is stream again. We want to keep Oh, there goes my headphones. Hold on. I don't think we actually died. I think it's just telling me that I haven't played music. So we'll put some back on. Still not going to share the music, not because I don't think that people enjoy the taste of things I listen to, but I just would rather not have any copyright strikes. Oh, and on the Dark Souls up front, so I've watched like, I was gonna say thousands, and that's the wrong game. I watched quite a few speed runs of Elden Ring, and in the mix of that, Dark Souls as well. And I know that there is a couple of sort of like early game milestones, you could call them. One of which is ringing the bell tower at the top, which is usually most people's first objective. And then the second one, which is to ring the bell tower in Blighttown, or at the bottom. Is it in Blighttown? You go through Blighttown to get to it anyway, which is very cruel for like if you were to think of it in stages as a second stage. But I have done the top bell tower and defeated the 2 gargoyles that are protecting that bell. So that was fun. A bit of trial and error, which is part of the game. But yeah, it ended up well. Well, finishing that off. And then I think I opened the entrance to Blighttown and then wasn't really sure where I was, and backtracked and then realized where I was, and yeah, and then it was sort of needing to move on, go to bed, that kind of thing. So not tonight, because I want to do a little painting before I go to bed, but maybe Saturday or Wednesday after stream, maybe we'll go back and start the Blighttown. I'm not sure how many shortcuts there are, but yeah, we'll just keep going until we can, really. I remember my younger brother playing DS2, and that had like this area that had all these like ghost pots, and they spit poison, and why did that open? I don't want that open. probably save in case this crashes. Call this pose 2. Got some things to check out in the Discord as well. Let's have a quick look. Wow, those are good. Hell yeah. It looks like a I mean, the design of so just looking at some pictures of some miniatures that Daka has put on the community page, and yeah, the house style is very either sort of Mexicanish, maybe Spanish influence. Looks really cool, and this painting is really good. It's so good to see community people showing things that they have been making, and it's inspiring, and then I work harder, and hopefully then it inspires others to make things as well. So let's try and fix this boot up a bit. Because I didn't put the laces in, because I knew that this would all get like messed up a little bit. And by a bit, I mean a lot. To the point where we might even just like re-extract this a little bit. But I mean, not too crazy, but crazy that we have had 2 really good painters join the community already. Yeah, I'm gonna redo that, I think. So let's just delete that. And that. Actually, we probably don't need to. Let's reopen this, and we'll what we might do is just yeah, it's gonna undo all that. No, that's all right. I was gonna just undo the that's okay. The rotation wasn't quite what I thought it was when I was looking through the preview, but that's okay. Yeah, Dark Souls, that's what we were talking about. Yeah, so got to go through Blight Town. Oh, and then DS2, the town that has all the spit pots. Maybe that is in Blight Town as well. I feel like Blight Town has the poison lake though. But I just remember like you could break the pots and there was like the fog gate, and then there was just like the lane leading up, because not every pot spat either, so if you didn't know which ones did it, you could get caught out really easy. But there's just like a line of like 30 of them on both sides, and it's just like, do I just sit here and break every single one every time I run back to the boss? So don't do this. Don't like when it does this. Let's reopen that. What was I doing? Hey, what the? Why are we doing this? Alright, hold on, I gotta relaunch this. Left monitor off. Close. turn that monitor back on. Yeah, I don't know why, but sometimes it decides that it doesn't want to load everything, and I have just never found an answer for that. Okay. So let's just append a sphere, and we'll put it under this foot. And then we'll just, yep, thank you. And wow. We'll just trim to the toe there. Now obviously the sphere will take some shape. Let's have a look at the drawing quickly. So I'm wondering if we bend this leg a little bit. So if we go lasso, like that, and then something like that. Let's hide that a second. And then we'll take this. So I don't know why it's pushed this so far in one direction. We just might remake the whole boot again, but let's turn the rock back on. And now we'll remove it to like there. And then we'll trim that again at the toe. That's probably better. I'm thinking even doing toes, because I feel like you could get like a real grasp on the but we'll see if we need to do that or not. We'll just bring this finger in a little bit. This isn't a jacket, so we don't need all these ripple effects here. Let's just drop the geometry a little bit then, so that we can do that. And then we'll just, because he's gonna have a weapon. So we'll just pop something in here for now. And then the tail as well is gonna have the bell. So we'll basically like model everything we want on the bell and then position it to where that'll be, and then just basically just do a Z sphere and wrap the tail around. How big do we want this weapon? If it's going to be big, it's going to drop down. Maybe be like that. Yeah, something like that, I think. Where are we at? We're at 2.5 hours streamed, so might leave it there. One more follower, one more person on Discord, which is good. We'll leave it there. I'll be back on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, continue on with this guy probably, and then just see how we go with the next sort of like 2 and a bit hours. Wish me luck in my kill team game, and yeah, as I said, I'll catch everyone later. Alrighty, cheers.